So how do you come up with your values? What's important to you? Things that have meaning and why they have meaning. These are our values. Our values, and they dictate the choices that we make and how we live our lives and what we align with and what we're interested in and what we're not interested in and what choices we're going to make. So very few people I have found in my experience spend a lot of time really understanding and examining their values. There's a lot of assumptions in our value systems. There's even a lot of assumptions about what values we are all supposed to be holding. Like, are we all going to have the same value system? Not really. I don't believe that we do. And what are the things that determine our values? And this is what I have learned, is that largely our subconscious belief systems determine the values that we hold. And where are our subconscious belief systems formed? They are formed pretty early in life. So science, now that we can study the brain and its different brainwave states, we have found that those first 7 to 8 years of life, your brain is in what we call theta brainwave state. That is the programmable, writable state of the brain, which means that in that time period, your brain is it's soil that is rich and ready to have seeds planted in it that will grow. And so you go from infancy, where you can barely see anything and you don't know what anything is, to the caregivers around you giving you a definition for your reality. That's your hand. That's a foot. That's a dog. That's a circle, a square. That's red. That's green. That's a fan. All of the innate potentiality that existed starts to take on shape and form. And then we have other values, other subconscious belief systems that are set. We watch our caregivers and how they model love for us, and then we get an idea about love. And you sit up straight at the table and you chew with your mouth closed, something small like that. Or you don't hit and you don't push people down, and you share and you take turns. And then, depending on if there's like a spiritual belief system that you grew up with, there's a whole bunch of subconscious belief systems that come with that. If you have narratives and words and phrases that are repeated to you often growing up, like, you're always making a mess, I always have to clean up after you. You're so good at being creative. You are such a picky eater. She's such a picky eater. She's so picky about what she eats all the time. Do you hear? There are so many things that are being spoken to us. And even though we don't realize it, and we watch our caregivers and we see what conflict looks like, and we see what anger looks like, and we see how they act afraid, and we see what they're interested in, and we see what their values are, and we adopt so many of these subconsciously in these early years before we even realize it. I remember telling a story from my own personal life where I was, I'm part Asian, and I had a rounder face when I was in high school. And my mom, I know she didn't mean anything by it, but she said, oh, sweetie, when you wear your hair pulled back, it makes your face look fatter. My mom probably had some hangups about this because she's half Asian, and she was aware of her wide cheekbones. And I'm sure she meant that helpfully, but for years, to this day, I have to still say to myself in my mind, it's fine if you pull your hair back in a ponytail, Joy, your face looks fine. That belief system went into my brain with many others, just imprinted for good or for bad. So when you go through your life and you're trying to determine what your values are, first you have to uncover a myriad of subconscious belief systems. What do you believe about beauty? What do you believe about money? What do you believe about, this is beautiful. This is attractive. This is handsome. Beautiful people get. Attractive people experience, have, money gets you. Money is good. Money is bad. What is purpose? Worldview, society, layer after layer after layer of belief system. Oh, I am an Enneagram 3, 1, 7. This is my Myers-Briggs. This is my astrological sign. This is my role in the family. I'm the middle child. Like, whatever it is, all of these belief systems and narratives that make up our identity are the foundation for us creating a value system. And chances are, if you have not taken the time to really dig and excavate and understand your belief systems and your subconscious belief systems, because you may have chosen a set of belief systems once you became mature and you looked at the world around you and you deduced things, and maybe they were reactive to what you grew up with and you didn't want anything to do with what you grew up with, or maybe you're still living in alignment with what you grew up with because that seemed to make the most sense. But then you've also got your subconscious belief systems. There's who you want to be in the world, and then there's how you generally are showing up, and this is your subconscious belief systems that are running you. So we have all these programs that are running us, and we have to sort of manually update them. And the only way that we can do that is we have to go back in and examine all of our subconscious belief systems and see how they are determining our experience of life in order for us to deduce what our values are going to be. And it's a very important thing. And I don't think we put enough emphasis on this in society. And when we choose groups to belong to, we make a lot of assumptions that we share values. When you come into a romantic relationship, oftentimes you believe that you are with somebody you share values with, and then you have children together, and you realize that even though you may have talked about certain values that you thought that you shared, that you're both having very different ideas about things and responding very differently to situations in contrast to each other. And suddenly it doesn't seem like maybe you share the same value system, because the subconscious belief systems and values that you grew up with are activating. The brain is predominantly, I've read that it is 95% of the time running on subconscious systems, and the subconscious is remarkably efficient. The brain is efficient. It's an efficient tool, and it wants to make things as easy as possible. So if it can just execute automatic functions, that's the easiest thing for it to do. Well, 5% of you is consciously trying to move yourself in a direction with deliberation. You have to update those subconscious belief systems in order to make yourself capable of being effective working with this 5% of conscious choice agency. And then when you do that, you can determine what your value system is. Because without a full understanding of what your value system is, you're not actually entirely sure how you want to meet the world around you, or how you want to form the relationships with those in your life. And then we certainly couldn't be effective on making a change in the world without that established. So what do you value, and why do you value